Good evening, School District of Indian River County. This is your Superintendent, Dr. Moore, here with a Facebook Live. So we're going to jump right into it. We are in the last 9 weeks of our school year, and we all know what that means. It means assessments for the end of the year are coming up. So I would ask for every family to sit with your son or your daughter and go through the calendar, the assessment calendar, so you know exactly when these assessments are going to be taking place. As I've said before, this is an opportunity to celebrate. Over the last several years, every district throughout the United States of America have had a really hard time as it relates to the pandemic. But here in the School District of Indian River County, just a great partnership with our parents and teachers that ensure that we're able to demonstrate when we take these assessments absolutely outstanding outcomes. So although it has been hard and challenging, we know our students are going to be able to sit, take these assessments, and truly celebrate all of their hard work that they put in over the last several years. So take the time, look at that schedule, make sure you're getting the sleep that is needed, eat well the days of the test, and continue to encourage and motivate your son or daughter. This isn't a time to be stressful. This is a time to celebrate all of the hard work that we have done collectively as a community. And seniors, you're in it. You have about 42 days of school left. There's a lot going to be happening in the last 42 days of school. So parents, sit with your seniors. You're in that final stretch, but we want to ensure that final stretch is a positive, powerful experience. There is prom, there are end-of-year recognitions, there's graduations. We are completely open. We want to celebrate all of those. It's a very busy time, so families, please sit with your seniors. Make sure you're aware of all of those special events and that you have the time off so you can engage and celebrate with your senior. They have worked so hard, and you as a parent have worked so hard. We all need to celebrate our seniors' accomplishments over the last several years. We also want to highlight our summer programming. We're going to highlight some summer programming today. Always check back to our webpage, making sure you have your plans for summer services. Summer programming fills up really quick here in the School District of Indian River County. One of the things that we did last year was triple the offering, the number of seats that we have available during summer programming. And even with those extra seats, still they fill up extremely quickly. So you got to be proactive and secure your spot for your son or daughter. And going back to the website is always a place to do that. Step into Kindergarten is a program. If you're just now finishing VPK, that would be an opportunity to go through a transition to help prepare your future kindergartner to be ready. That camp takes place June 6th to July 1st. Go onto the website, and that's the opportunity to enroll and to step into kindergarten. But if you weren't in VPK last year, we still have an opportunity for you. That's a voluntary pre-kindergarten program, June 6th through July 18th, an extended amount of time. Really help your son or daughter get used to the routine of the kindergarten experience. That's going to be at Fellsmere, Treasure Coast Elementary, as well as Vero Beach Elementary School. So we got you covered regardless of the side of the town in which you live on. Also, extended day camps. Those are happening at Liberty Magnet and Rosewood Magnet. Those are the pay programs where you have a traditional summer camp experience. Not only will your son or daughter have a great time in one of these two schools, it will also be a strong literacy component embedded into the program, so you'll have a great time while at the same time not experiencing that summer loss or that summer slide as they typically call it. Those would be programs, information you see on the screen to call and reserve your spot for one of those two programs. And as mentioned before, they fill up really quick, so let's be proactive on that. And summer programming isn't just for our elementary students. We have something for everybody. So whether it's the manufacturing boot camp, which is the opportunity to see all kinds of different programming that takes place throughout our county, really neat programming there. We're going to do an entrepreneurial boot camp, which is June 6th through June 24th. That's going to culminate with an event in which the teams will work together, the student teams, to create a solution to a problem, present it to funders, and then the winning team is going to actually have their business funded so they can go out and begin to be entrepreneurs and really start to make money. So that's going to be an exciting new program that we're offering. And our drone camp, also an absolutely outstanding opportunity. The level of science and math that is involved in flying those things is really high and complex. So we're going to embed that math, that science into that drone camp, and students are going to have not only a fun time, but they're going to learn a whole bunch. And as we close out today, we want to remind everybody that this is the registration period for Florida Prepaid, which is an absolutely outstanding way to save money and have your daughter's college experience paid for. And with a little bit more information on that is Shannon Kulovicki, who's going to present some more information. So I'll turn it over to Shannon.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moore. We are really happy to be here today. I personally am happy to be here on behalf of Florida Prepaid. So I wanted to just let Indian River families know a little bit about how Florida Prepaid plans work, and also a very exciting incentive that we have to encourage families to look into saving for college with Florida Prepaid. So Florida Prepaid is the largest and the longest running college savings program in the nation. We've been around for 30+ years, and we are really a national model for how states should and can run programs to help people save for college affordably. The way a prepaid plan works is that you are essentially, when you purchase a plan, for example, in this open enrollment year, which runs through April 30th, you are locking in at today's price what you need to cover future tuition. So we have 5 different plans, plus we have a dormitory plan. And depending on which plan you choose, you are essentially locking in tuition, for example, 2-year college, a 4-year college degree, a 4-year university degree, and we have a few different options that you can look into. I like to tell families, especially nowadays when it seems like everything is subject to inflation, every time we go to the gas pump, every time we go to the grocery store, a Florida prepaid plan, when you have that, you are protecting yourself from tuition inflation. The guarantee from Florida Prepaid is that no matter what happens to actual tuition, right? So if we have projected it too small and tuition actually goes up more than what we projected when we set your plan price, you as the family don't have to worry about it, because whatever you lock into is what we guarantee you will pay. You will not pay any more than that. For example, the 1-year university plan for a newborn right now is $45 a month. That means that no matter what happens between now and the 17, 18 years it takes them to get to college, your plan will always be $45 a month. It will never go up. And the guarantee is that when it's time for them to go, that 1 year of university tuition is going to be covered, even if it costs much more at that point than what we thought it would. We will cover the gap. The other nice thing about Florida Prepaid is that it's guaranteed by the state of Florida. As a family, you can never lose any dollar that you put into Florida Prepaid. If, for example, a child gets a scholarship and doesn't need the Florida Prepaid plan to cover tuition, you can get a refund of whatever is not used. If the child doesn't go to college at all, they can get a full refund of that. You can also transfer your plan to another child or beneficiary. So there's a lot of different ways to make it flexible. One other thing I want to stress is that the plans, even though they're called Florida Prepaid plans, they can be used outside the state of Florida, and they can be used at private colleges or universities here or outside of Florida, and they can be used for vocational or technical training. This is a really big one because we are seeing a lot of students who are going for those vocational degrees or certifications because they're high demand fields. They pay well, probably more than some of us might have made when we came out of college with a degree. And so those do fall under what Florida Prepaid plans cover. If you go out of state or you go to a private institution, the value of your prepaid plan stays intact. So we would apply the value of your plan to wherever the child goes. I will use as an example a 4-year university plan. If you have a 4-year university plan and the child ends up, I'll say, not going to Florida Atlantic University, okay, they decide that they're going to go to a university, maybe a state university in Georgia or Texas or California, we would send to those institutions what we would have sent to Florida Atlantic, UF, University of Central Florida, wherever they might have gone. Now, the reality is that if you're paying out-of-state tuition by going to those institutions, you may have to fill the gap between, out-of-state tuition and what the prepaid plan covers. But as a prepaid plan holder, the value of your plan has remained intact and you have not lost any of that value. So that's a big one to let families know about. So that's how plans work. You can go to myfloridaprepaid.com, learn more about the plans. You can also type in the date of birth of your child or children, and it will tell you for each of our plans exactly what the monthly payment would be, what it would cost as a lump sum, or what it would cost to pay it over the course of like 5 years, almost like a car payment. And we encourage families to go look at that and say, you know, what could I manage right now under my budget? Because even though as parents, we want to save and do everything for our children, right? The reality is most families are not going to maybe be able to cover all 100% of a child's college costs. But every dollar that you save is a dollar that they do not have to borrow. And so that's a very important thing to keep in mind as you're looking at the plans, looking at your budget, figuring out what you can afford and what your savings goals are. That brings me to my final point before I turn it back over to you, Dr. Moore, and that is that we have a really exciting incentive for Florida families this open enrollment window. So anyone who purchases a prepaid plan for this year, right, and you have until April 30th to decide, for every year of college or university that you purchase with a prepaid plan, we at Florida Prepaid are going to put $125 for each year, up to $500 for 4 years, into a Florida 529 savings plan. Now, that is a little different than a prepaid plan, but it's another way to save for college that we offer. It is an investment-based plan, so you put in what you can when you can. There's no required monthly payment, but it does grow over time like an investment, okay, right? It's stock market based. So there is some decisions that you have to make about what your investment strategy will be. But the nice thing about that is that that plan not only can be used toward tuition, but it can be used toward books, housing, technology, and all of those other costs that we know are associated with college. Why are we doing this? Well, we're doing it partly because we want families to know that there are two ways to save with us. There's also value to having both types of plans. That prepaid plan, again, locks in tuition, keeps you inflation proof when it comes to tuition, but the 529 savings plan allows you to cover the other costs of college. 529 savings plans can even be used for K through 12 private education and can even be used for an adult grad school. And it's also a great way for families to be able to gift. So if a child's birthday is coming up and you say, I don't want another Lego set, but we would love for you to contribute $25, $50, $75 to our 529 savings plan, that would be great. So lots of things for families to look at, but we've never done anything like this before. And it's also really our way of not only, you know, letting families know that we have this type of plan, but encouraging and thanking families for taking that step for their children and then allowing us to be part of that savings journey with you. So again, up to $500 in college savings when you open a prepaid plan through open enrollment. MyFloridaPrepaid.com has lots more information. We encourage Indian River families to go there. And with that, Dr. Moore, I will say thank you again for your time, and I will turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Shannon, for sharing. And I once again encourage everyone to follow up and get registered within this window for College Prepaid. That is our Facebook Live for this evening. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you tomorrow in school.